Hey guys, I'm Vadim. For those who don't know me, I'm an Amazon seller. Having started my own brands and then managing my clients' accounts, basically an Amazon PPC expert / Amazon seller. Just wanted to record this quick video to show you just a high level picture of Amazon ads, where things are and how I approach it, and just to help you guys understand how I think about it. Just to give you some stats, I manage around 30,000 of ad spend a month. That's about $1,000 a day across a few clients. So let's get into it. From a very high level standpoint, essentially Amazon's, it became pay to play at this point. So you'll have your, search bar and people searching for keywords, and then you'll have your ads showing up. Lately, you see like 5 sponsored ads. It used to be 4 ads, but now it's 5. And then you have a sponsored banner ad on top. So lately it's becoming more like pay to play. You really need to nail your advertising strategy in order to get this right. So again, a big picture is you'll be paying for ads and you'll be shown up in one of the spots, which is your top of search, right? So it's going to be, used to be 4 positions and now it's 5 positions. So you'll have your row of ads and it's going to just say SP, 5 different positions. So typically you'll pay a lot more to be in spot number 1, right? But you could also pay a bit less and be at spot number 2. And just to show you a quick trick, if you have your ad campaign set up, what we can do is basically once you say add your bid to a campaign, you could immediately go to incognito window. You can type some US address and you just search, right? So what was the keyword? Dish soap. So we can actually see in real time if your bid is enough to be at spot 1 or 2. Again, this is not a good example because this keyword is like very much dominated by Amazon Basics. So maybe it's not even sponsored. But so you get an idea, you would place your bid at say $5, and most of the time you'd want to show up at spot 2 because at spot 1 you'd be paying a lot more than spot 2. Because essentially spot 2, the algorithm works is you're just paying a cent less, right? So this is the foundation. You'll have your top of search, and you want to be here. Like you don't want to check it for every single campaign, but maybe for a few campaigns that you're trying to rank for. And this is another concept we're going to cover. So most of the time you're going to be here, spot 2. And then, so placements, you'll have your top of search, and then you'll have your rest of search, which is basically the next row right here. I find what works best is top of search ads. They convert the best, again, it's depending on the niche, followed by rest of search. And then the third placement is product pages. So what I typically find, and it's interesting for anything subjective like clothing, pictures, product pages that tend to work best. And let me just show you an example. So product pages would be this section right here. People are going to do the browsing. They're going to open this page, going to click more. So think of it as like people going into more like browsing mode. Because for pictures, right, like something like this, you want to scroll, you want to compare, like there is almost no point of targeting top of search unless you have like some unique product like this, they do. But, and then again, it's something you want to test out, but, pictures or clothing, you really want to pay attention to that rest of search. And I'll get into like all the technical details in a bit. So top of search ads, and then going down is going to be a rest of search. There's usually like 3 or 4 ads, and then there's going to be another rest of search. And once you click on any given page, it's going to be your product pages. So the point I'm trying to make here, again, and maybe going a bit too fast, is that you need to pay attention where your advertising shows up, right? And how do you do this? So you'll have your type here called placements. And with this placement modifiers, you can control whether you want to show up on top of search, rest of search, or product pages. So just really paying attention to these adjustments. And it's also important to have a single keyword campaign. Because the way it works is that placement is just it's something that affects your entire campaign. It's at the campaign level. So if you set this up for a campaign with multiple keywords, it's basically going to trigger every single keyword on that campaign. Some of the keywords work good on the rest of search. Some of them work on top of search. So it's very specific, and we want to really dial it down to single keyword campaigns. So this was a quick concept of, ads, placements, top of search, rest of search, product pages, and then maybe we can touch base on just overall strategy for how do you choose keywords? Again, very high level. That's why I have this format here of just showing things out as we go. So you'll have, A, B, C keywords. Let's write this. You'll have your keyword A, you'll have your keyword B and C, right? And say keyword A is going to have search volume of 10,000 searches, and it's going to be very relevant keyword. I'd say not relevant, but not very relevant, but just relevant. Relevant. So B is going to be a smaller search volume keyword at 5K, and C is going to be just a low volume keyword. So that's going to be very relevant, right? And let's say this one is also relevant. Relevant. So what happens here is if you start targeting all of these keywords, Amazon is going to basically sees the conversion rate you're sending through your advertising to your listing. Say the conversion here is going to be 10%. Here is going to be 15. Well, for the sake of example, let's make it 25. And here is going to be 50%. So how you approach it going forward is that you want to be sending, or let's say you want to be spending as much money as you can on anything that converts highly. So just the example I showed you, that C keyword, that's very relevant, converts at 50%. So CVR, something that converts extremely highly, right, or very high. You want to be spending a lot of money on this. What it does, it's sending signals to Amazon to boost your organic rank. So you say you spend here, you spend, and what happens over time? Amazon, it's getting all these signals, good signals, right? It's getting these good signals. Okay, he's sending, the seller is sending so much traffic to this keyword, and he's ranking so high. So then algorithm thinks, okay, let's promote this product to page 2, page 1, organic spot 2, 3, 1, because at the end of the day, Amazon is there to make money for themselves. And we just want to help the algorithm to channel that organic traffic to something that converts high from ads. So this should be your priority. This keyword right here. And now, just coming down again, the concept of, ACOS, TACOS. So ACOS, advertising cost of sales. So let's say you spend $100 on ads and you get 500 in ad sales. So that's going to be 20% ACOS. So the point here is you need to understand is anything that converts high, you wanna target high ACOS. So say this keyword is gonna be at 50% ACOS. Again, it's product specific, depends on your margins and whatnot. Something like this, relevant, high search volume, not high search volume, but not a high conversion rate. Maybe we will target this at break-even ACOS. So excuse my writing here. Maybe I need to get an iPad or something to draw all the things, but you want to target this, let's say, break-even ACOS. Alright, so actually my camera had to die on me, unfortunately, but I have replaced the battery. So the keywords you are targeting, right, the conversion rate, it really dictates what kind of investment you're looking to make into the keyword. I'll explain it in a second because it does drive the organic rank. So jumping back again to this ugly diagram, uh, again, conversion rates, keyword C, very relevant, right? Low search volume, but extremely high conversion rate. So we are really like dialing on that down, spending. Say if our ACOS was 25% break even, so at 50%, you're like really like you think to yourself, okay, am I not losing money by them? But what happens is when you target the 50%, like I already explained, you're sending all these positive signals to the algorithm, and what it does is it improves your organic rank. So this is one of the products. So jumping back to previous dates, just in general, seeing, let's show it from right to left, left being the current time. You see how it starts at 17, 14, and then it starts to be around 6, 8. So this is an organic response. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. You find this high conversion keywords, you send aggressive Amazon PPC traffic to these campaigns, and you just see the organic rank improves, which basically comes with extra organic sales. So you have your 10% conversion keywords, about 25% is US, and here you can just set your own guideline, say 35%. So this is kind of the main framework for managing Amazon ads. Again, it's a very, very short video. I cannot explain everything, but that's basically how you treat your campaigns, how you treat different keywords. Then let's talk about this weird word tacos, like not the food, but the Amazon tacos. Essentially, the metric that dictates your profit and basically if your business is gonna last or not. So what I notice a lot of businesses do, at least with ACOS, which is like an ill approach. So, everyone just wants the lowest ACOS. When you see people online just, I don't want to call specific names, but just people advertising, okay, we can improve your ACOS, make it 5, 10%. But the time where we are now, maybe like years ago when Amazon was less competitive, it was all about having that lowest SEOs and just spending as little as possible. So now it's opposite. It's spending as much as possible, but doing it in a very smart and strategic way. So now the goal is not to be at some abnormal low SEOs. The goal is actually to break even on your ads or lose. Again, I don't want to advise it to everyone unless you know what you're doing. So, but essentially the goal is say almost break even. And then you break even on ads to drive all that extra visibility, basically all those eyeballs to your listing to drive organic sales. So let me redo this. So let's say ACOS is high. You're driving that to high converting keywords. That's gonna increase your organic sales. So let's say organic rank. So means more sales. It's kind of like an intuitive approach. What I'm talking about. What I'm saying is if you spend more, you'll make more. Essentially, that's what it is. If you set this up correctly, of course, so you're going to spend more here, anything that's high conversion, and that's going to drive your bottom line revenue. So let's say that's going to turn into a money making machine, right? With a low tacos. So let's cover another concept. Talked about placements, the kind of placements we have on Amazon, type of keywords and how you want to select them, how much you want to target them, and what kind of ACOS to target, or let's just call it how aggressive you want to be with your advertising. Then let's cover so we covered the ACOS TACOS relationship. And now let's cover the life cycle of a product. So you'll have, there are people launching their product. There are established sellers who, they almost don't need to do any advertising, right? But I know from experience that most likely they're leaving money on the table, almost all niches. And then we have people whose Amazon business is slowly declining, right? So let's cover all three examples and how it ties to the concept I explained. So again, there's going to be new, established, and then declining. And let's just assume that the sales are flat here, declining, and then new is going to grow. So give it some timeline, 1 to say 2 months. Let's say 2 to 3, and after that just plus 3 months. So what happens with a new product, and this is also talking about product launch, how you do this is you want to find as many relevant keywords as possible and go target them in exact match type for at least first 2 weeks. So what it does, it sends signals to Amazon and it lets algorithm know what your product is, what keywords is it associated, it's related to. Like, you don't want to like start a bunch of auto campaigns because it's just going to generate a lot of like garbage clicks. Especially in the beginning when algorithms have no idea what your product is. It is getting more advanced, but we want to treat your new product as if Amazon has no idea what this is. So targeting relevant keywords, and you will be expecting, or actually not even expecting, you would want to have SEOs of very high SEOs, very high investment. So what's going to happen is going to drive, again, that all of the organic visibility, just telling Amazon, hey, show me on page 1, I'm spending all this money. Again, pay to play, right? So months 2 to 3, you start dialing that down. So let's say here it was 100%. Here it's going to be about 60%. And after 3 months, you start to focus on profitability. You identify what's working, what keywords are converting the best, where you can rank and where you cannot rank, and you just have everything dialed down. And around months 2 or 3 is like a good mark to where you start ranking well, like it's consistent and you start making profit. For established businesses, again, this timeline may not be relevant, but let's say you start working with like an Amazon PPC expert. So then be looking at opportunities to, so let's say you had an SEOs of 30%, or let's say it was 10%. Because, someone on YouTube or just you read online, you follow said, okay, you need to target lowest SEOs. So we would want to be identifying keywords with high conversion of 50%, 25%, etc., whatever that high conversion means to you. And basically ramping up spend on these keywords, even for established brands, assuming your organic rank is like suffering. If you're ranked number 1, it's a different story and it's a whole other video. So it's just finding keywords with a higher CVR and targeting them at a higher SEOs. So over time, what it's going to do, yes, it will increase your overall ACOS to maybe 25% over time. But realistically, your sales going from here, they're going to go like that and then like that. With the right setup, like explain single keyword campaigns, dialing down the placement, and just driving that advertising, to right keywords. For declining brands, I would say it's a similar story, but it's all about It's all about having that root cause analysis. So what's causing declining sales? Is it the conversion rate? Is it the competition that's lowering prices? So there are a few tools in space that can kind of help you with that. Or if you have a multi-catalog brand, it's just about seeing, okay, what are the top 3 products so that we can focus on them and drive your sales up? And what are the bottom 3 products that eventually we may want to phase out? So what I advise brands whose sales are declining, just identify what's your bottleneck, then see if you can solve it. If it's the conversion rate, it's going to be your listing optimization. I'm not a listing optimization expert, but there's plenty of people. I recommend not saving money on that part. It's really important. And then if it's ads, there's a lot with ads. That's campaign structure. Do you have all mixed up together, or is it a budget issue? Maybe you're run out of budget on your best campaigns. Maybe you don't target enough stuff, or maybe you target too much stuff. So yeah, just root cause analysis, root problem, and so you identify that and solve it. Whether it's a listing issue, you have someone fixing your creative side of things, or if it's an ads issue, you hire an Amazon ads expert. So far we've covered placements, type of keywords and how you target them, relationship between ACOS and TACOS, different life cycles of the product. Let's quickly touch base on ad types. I can give you the secret sauce. Basically, the thing you need to know is the sponsored products, your say keyword campaigns, they will not drive your organic visibility. They'll drive BSR, they will improve overall sales, but when it comes to organic sales, they're not driving that bottom line revenue, right? So I'm talking about sponsored display ads, SB. So ad sales up, rank flat is not gonna do anything with your rank. BSR, it is gonna improve. It's good to use it, once you're sort of established, you have your, so to speak, all eggs in a basket, and you just wanna get more market share. And it's a great way because with sponsored brand ads, you can go ahead and you can show up above top of search, like I explained earlier. So you'll have your SB banner ad, and it's just above everything. It's taking so much real estate. So it's a great way for brand awareness, just getting that market share that you otherwise would have not gotten with just sponsored products. So not a high priority ad type. It's not like a game changer, right? So with that in mind, let's say if I were spending $100 a day on ads, I would probably give this $20 or 20% of my ad spend. Then having sponsored product ads, it's like your bread and butter. You want to rank organically, you want to drive that extra organic sales, be on page 1. This is where the sponsored products come in. All of this ads here, sponsored top of search, sponsored product ad, rest of search, sponsored product ad. This is exactly what's going to drive that organic rank and take it from, say, 30, 34 down to 20 and just improving over time. The key points of it, they do require a large investment, but it is worth it because you'll have your sales, like your rank. It's going to go up. Ad sales, obviously. BSR. Overall sales. Then the third ad type, or let's say one of, not the last one, because we also have sponsored TV ads. This third ad type is sponsored display ads, SD. Again, very similar to sponsored brand ads. They're going to drive your ad sales. Rank is not really going to help. I would say not going to help at all, and your BSR will improve. So You could spend $10 to $20, another 10 to 20% of your ad spend. So with this concept in mind, we've covered the placements, how to choose keywords, how to target them, what kind of SEOs to choose. And again, this is not like a beginner video, it's more like for established sellers. But it's just a high level picture of where we are with Amazon ads, how to treat your ads right, and and whether you're a new, established, declining business, there is all kinds of scenarios we covered. Ad types. So again, hope it was helpful, and good luck with your Amazon ads.